Hello Record Warriors. If you're interested in recording your tennis match play, I think this video is a great place to start. Sometimes it can be embarrassing watching yourself play, but sometimes we need to face the ugly truth in order to improve. So in this video, I'm going to go over the equipment that I use, how I set up my camera to film, and some tips. Let's get started. The only thing you need to start recording your tennis match play is a decent camera and a mounting system that will allow you to mount the camera to the fence. In this video, I will share the equipment I personally use, and I will provide the links to these items in the description below. There are many options when it comes to cameras such as cell phones, DSLRs, or action cameras. Using my cell phone was a no-no for me because I didn't want to take up storage to film and didn't want to mount my phone to the fence. A DSLR is too pricey and too bulky to mount to the fence. An action camera was perfect for me for its size, its ruggedness, and its various accessory options. The action camera I chose to shoot my match play with is the DJI Osmo Action. At the time when I was shopping for the action cam, I was choosing between the DJI Osmo and the GoPro Hero 8. I went with the DJI Osmo because it has a front screen that allows you to frame up your shot before recording, which is very helpful and efficient. It was more cost effective, and the lens protector was easily replaceable. Off of one battery, I can record for almost 2 hours if I'm filming in 1080p. The nature of action cam is that they're wide lens, so you'll have no issue framing the width of the tennis court in your shot. I would say one bad thing about the action cam is that they don't allow you to zoom in since the lens are fixed. A workaround would be to film in 4K and to zoom in while editing the video, but this does take up more memory and drains your battery faster. Overall, I'm super happy with the DJI Osmo. I currently use the Samsung Evo Micro SD cards. I recommend using the ones that are level 3 so that it can write fast enough, especially if you're planning to film in 4K or 60 FPS. I haven't had any issues with these cards. I have both 128 and 256 gig cards. Lenovo Osmo Action Dual 3.5mm mic adapter is a must if you want better sound quality, because it has a mic jack that will allow you to hook up a better external mic to the DJI Osmo. It also has an extra USB-C port, which means you can charge your DJI Osmo while it's recording, so you can theoretically record forever, but you are restricted to your memory card size. The external mic I use is the Movo VXR10 Universal Video Microphone. The package comes with a shock mount, which is a must, especially when the balls hit the fence, and it also comes with a dead cat windscreen, which is also a must since tennis is predominantly an outdoor sport, and it helps reduce the wind noise. The PGY Tech camera cage for DJI Osmo Action works great if you're planning to get an external mic like the Movo mic and need a code shoe to mount the mic on. And it also has a cutout that is compatible with the Lenovo mic adapter as well. There are various mounting options like using a rope or a flexible tripod to tie your phone or camera to the fence, but that does take a bit of time to set up, and the height at where you can set your camera is limited. There is also the QM1 camera fence mount, which is a great portable tool to mount your camera, but it is too pricey for me. So after through several iterations, I've assembled a mounting system that works well for all the courts that I've played on. I prefer the mounting system of hooking to the top of the fence rather than mounting directly on the fence. What I discovered is that over the fence reduces the camera shakiness when the ball hits the fence, and I have the whole length of the pole to position the camera. I also found that it's faster to mount the camera this way. Before, I used to connect 2 PVC pipes so that it would be long enough to reach the top of the fence, but it was cumbersome carrying 2 separate PVC pipes around, and it wasn't a sexy solution. I wanted a pole that was telescopic and cost effective, so I found extendable painter poles. The painter pole that I'm using is the Long Arms brand, and it starts from 4 feet and can extend up to 8 feet long. Most tennis fences are about 15 feet high, so I can reach the top of most tennis fences with this pole. I put two action cam mounts on the pole, one at the bottom and one at the top, so I can easily mount my camera at either position for different camera angles. You can see that I use an action cam mount with a hose clamp to tie it to the pole, or the bicycle handlebar action cam mount works well too. For the hook that mounts the pole to the fence, I found some L brackets in my garage and assembled them with a few screws and nuts. I drilled some holes in the pole so that I can fasten my makeshift hook to the pole. Most of the poles that I've seen that run horizontal along the fence are 2 inch in diameter, so I made sure that my hook has a gap of at least 2 1/8 inch gap. I've added some of the soft Velcro strips to the inside of my hook so that it grips the fence poles snug. The last item I recommend is to have a bungee cord with the hooks on the ends. I use this to secure the pole to the fence. In my experience, the pole and camera does tend to pivot and swing at the point of the top of the fence when it gets too windy or if the windbreaker screen is not secured to the fence. Now I'm going to demonstrate on how I set up my camera mount to film a tennis match play. First I find the center of the court. Then I extend my pole so I can reach the top of the fence. And then I adjust the camera so that it sits about 6 to 7 feet above the ground. And what I'm doing now is I'm fastening the pole to the fence. On a windy day like this day, the pole would be swinging back and forth, so the bungee cord does really help secure the pole in place. And now I'm turning on the camera and using the front screen to frame the tennis court. And you can see I'm adjusting it, and it's hard to see, but everything looks good. Now, just gotta hit record and time to play. Here are some tips and recommendations for recording tennis match play. Positioning your camera is very important because that determines the action you will capture and how you plan to use it after you film. You may play around with different camera positions, but I have found two that are very helpful. The first position is to have it over the shoulder level, which is about 6 to 7 feet from the ground, which will give you the view as if you were standing behind the player and see the arc and the pace of the ball. This angle is good if you're planning to use the footage to reflect and improve. Another advantage is that you can frame the camera easily because the camera is at a height where you can see the front screen and adjust the camera. Also, you can check the camera to see the battery life between games during a match. The one bad thing about this camera position is that you may not see the player on the other side of the net that well. The second camera position is on top of the fence and having the camera face down towards the court. This angle will allow you to maximize the view of the court and the players. This is why professional tennis is filmed in this angle. What you lose though is the arc and speed of the ball, and that's why I would recommend this position if you're planning to use the video for entertainment purposes or doubles for more court/player coverage. The disadvantage of having the camera at this height is that it's hard to frame the shot since the front of the screen is too far to see, and it's hard to see if the battery needs to be changed since you can't reach for the camera easily. Lighting is important in getting good footage, and if you point your lens towards the sun, you will have trouble seeing the players and especially the ball. I film most of my tennis match play in 1080p and 30 FPS. I do this in order to save memory and to prolong the life of the battery during filming. Since I upload to YouTube, I find 1080p is sufficient and 30 FPS is good since I don't do any slow-mo editing. The only time I would consider filming in higher resolution than 1080p like in 4K is if the fence is too far from the court. Since action cameras don't have the ability to zoom in, you would have to zoom in while editing the video, and 4K will allow you to do that without compromising the video's quality. To help differentiate between sets, I hit record for every new set. If you're planning on editing your videos, there are many free and open source video editing software / apps like iMovie or VLLO. I personally edit my tennis match play videos on an iPad and use LumaFusion. Hopefully you found this video useful. All the items I use to capture my tennis match play can be found in the description below. Please stay safe and keep swinging.